Hi again. In this section we're going to talk about the EDSE 531 assignments, and I realized in the last video I said EDUC. That's not correct. EDSE 531. So we're going to talk about the course assignments. So if you go to page 8 of the syllabus, you'll start to see a breakdown of our week-by-week activities. And what I want to point out to you is the way that that is broken down. When it says week 1, then it says class topics, and it says readings. Whatever is in that last column, if it says post an introduction, if it says, a quiz, if it says a paper, it is due in that week. So I noted when that week ends in that first column, so that's what you should be doing during the course of that week. What you'll see is that there's a number of different ways that you're going to interact. You're going to interact on the discussion boards. You're going to work collaboratively on a project. You are also going to be doing some things individually. So all of those are kind of embedded throughout the course from week to week. So just taking a look at the very first week, so let's look at week 1 so that we can kind of walk through what that looks like so that you'll have an idea from week to week how that should be laid out. It says week 1 and then it says ends 1/18. So in the policy section of the syllabus, you'll see that all assignments are due at 11:59 on Sunday night. You can turn them in whenever you would like, but at that point, that is when they were due, and that actual drop for that assignment will disappear at midnight. It's like Cinderella. It will turn into a pumpkin of sorts or something, but it goes away. So you have to have everything in by 11:59 on Sunday night. So you can do things throughout the week. You can wait till the weekend. Totally up to you, whatever works best for you. If you're already working, maybe you do a little bit at a time. So looking at that first week, you're required to read chapters 1 and 2 of the textbook. And so you would do that. You would review the PowerPoint that I post online. It may be in sections, it may be all one, but you'll take a look at that PowerPoint for the week. And so you'll see in week 1, I have you post an introduction of yourself on the discussion board, and it should include some sort of media. So if I can make a video of myself, so can you. You can just do something very quick where you introduce yourself, maybe tell us something if you want, or just tell us your name. But I think that that's going to help all of us kind of create this community since we don't get to see each other and interact on a week-by-week basis. You can also just post a picture of yourself. That's absolutely fine as well. But do an introduction, and you'll see on the discussion board that my introduction's already there, and then I kind of pointed you in this direction so that you would watch this video. The other thing that you're going to do in the coming week is you're going to preview some key terms before you watch a video on from Rick Lavoie. And then after you do that, you will write a response on the discussion board. So all of those things are already set up, and what you'll see on Canvas from me is a week-by-week organization system. I like to do it by weeks. I try to get away from the word modules. So you'll just see week 1, and you'll have the final date, and everything will be listed there. I also try to use kind of headings and do a hierarchy so that you can kind of see how everything fits together. So if you're following the syllabus, you'll notice it mirrors Canvas. So use the syllabus, use the syllabus, use the syllabus, because you'll see a direct correlation between the two. The last thing that you're going to do in this very first weekend, I know this is a lot coming right out of the gate, but we need to kind of hit the ground running to get all of this done, is you're going to choose partners for your disability resource project. Don't pick your disability area yet. Don't move ahead. Just pick your partner. If you have no idea who is in this class, and this is partially why I wanted you to do the introductions, because I think sometimes we either know someone's name or we know their face, but we don't quite know how to match them up. So I'm hoping through the introductions that you'll see somebody go, oh yeah, I had a class with them. I remember her. And then you can reach out to one another about pairing up. If you absolutely do not know anyone in the class and you really just don't care and you want to roll the dice, let me know, and I can try to pair you up that way. But there is a collaboration document that's already open where you can put your name. If you could just hold off in the disability area, don't claim it yet, just pick your partner first, then we'll get to the disability area next. So That's what covers the first week. And then you'll see on page 8 it goes into week 2, and it starts talking about the topics we'll be talking about in week 2 and your responsibilities in that last column. There's a couple readings there, reviewing the PowerPoints, and then I think that's about it for week 2. As you go through, you'll notice that week by week, actually that wasn't it for week 2, was it? At that point, you're setting up your practical assignment and you're also completing the quiz. So that's really it for week 2. And all of that is already there. I believe for this class, I am currently caught up completely through week 2. So everything up to week 2 is ready in queue for you to go. A lot of it is already ready, but there's a couple things that I needed to add throughout a couple of the weeks. So I'll be doing that, but I'm not going to let you I'm not going to get to the point where we start a new week and it's not ready for you. When we start on Monday morning, at the beginning of a fresh week, everything's going to be there and ready for you. I'm not going to throw something into you on a Friday right before everything is due on Sunday. So just rest assured, but when you wake up on Monday morning after submitting everything on Sunday night, by the time you wake up Monday morning, everything's going to be there ready for you to go for the following week. I'm not going to throw you a curveball and add something new at the very last minute. Promise, okay? So going through the assignments, the first assignment is the class participation. Class participation in this course is you engaging in the discussion boards. There's going to be several opportunities to answer questions, to piggyback on what your peers have said, and really I would like for you to add meaningful and thoughtful comments so that we're able to have a discussion and get different points of view, because that is really a huge piece of the learning that we're missing by not being together physically in a class. So please do that. And also, as you are participating on Canvas, if you know there's a discussion board that's going on for the whole week, check in a little bit earlier in the week. Don't wait till Friday, because people are also waiting for your responses so that they can respond back. We want kind of a conversation going, and if we all wait right to the end to have that conversation, then we're kind of rushing the process and we're not getting a true participation, true discussion going on that is going to be really meaningful. So if it's a discussion, if you could just check in early in the week, check in midweek, check in at the end, that would be great so that we can really enhance those discussions. The content for each of those discussions will be listed on Canvas. You'll see the directions right in the discussion board. You do need to interact several times in order to get that participation, so you will also see the guidelines there online. The next, these are online quizzes. There are 5 quizzes and they cover the chapters in the book. Because again, we are not face-to-face, I can't see whether or not you're getting the information. I can't read your cues. You can't really say, hey, I don't get that, and stop me in the middle of my my PowerPoint and my lecture. I don't know if you're getting the information unless I do some sort of summative assessment or some sort of formative assessment along the way. So this is my way of knowing that you're really getting the information, and it also tells me whether or not I need to go back and cover something the following week that maybe was unclear or that I missed in the instruction. So there are a couple quizzes. It lays out what chapters it's covered, as well as the due dates. You can use your book, you can use your notes, you just can't use each other. That's the only kind of caveat or rule, if you will. The next assignment is a practical assignment. You'll see that there's going to be a number of choices there. You will only choose one, but I ask that you choose a new experience for you. I want you to do something that you have not done before. Once you make that choice, you are actually going to let me know that within a couple of weeks. You're going to kind of set that up and decide what you're going to do for that practical assignment, and you're going to tell me. Now, I understand that plans change, things change, it may not go as you're anticipating, and that's okay. But I am requiring you to make a commitment in the beginning to do something that you decide on. That way you get the ball rolling, it gets you thinking about this, it gets your foot in the door, and you can actually start the process. So you'll see there's 5 options for you to choose. You will let me know what you are selecting I will give you kind of a thumbs up. Sounds great. Go for it. Knock yourself out. Or I'll say, hey, you know, why don't you think about this? Or I don't know if that's really going to work. There is another way to go about this. If there's an option that's not listed here but something you really want to explore, reach out, let me know. I want the learning to be applicable to you and your situations. So I want this to be meaningful for you, which is why I'm having you choose, because I want this to be an experience that you have not had before, but you really feel like you need as well. So if you're looking for something different, come to me. The other thing that I want to point out, which may be difficult for some people to kind of, you know, hear or kind of accept, is that even if you are teaching, you cannot use your own students. You need to get out of your comfort zone and do this with someone else. It needs to be something outside of your normal duties, okay, because I want this to be a new experience. Once you are done doing this, you will share it within a short presentation, about 5 to 7 minutes of a video, and it is to provide other people with insight about the experience. There is no paper with this assignment. It's only the presentation. So you can do any sort of presentation that you would like using any sort of resources. I just want you to convey the information that you've learned effectively. And so what you will see is that I will also be giving you some sites that you can use and hopefully some examples as I start digging through my files as well. So any way that you want to present it is fair game. 5 to 7 minutes. Make it engaging, make it fun. There's so many cool tools out there that you can use for your presentation, and you will address the option that you chose for your practical assignment. Let's see. The next thing that you're going to be responsible for doing is a disability resource project. Now remember, I was telling you you need to pick a partner? That's for this project. So you're going to pick a partner, and you and the partner are then, in a week, maybe 2, you're going to pick your disability area. Now, you cannot pick the same disability area as someone else. So I know that some of you may really want to do something, so make sure you have a backup, so because when you go to sign up, if somebody has already selected that disability, you're going to need to choose something else. It doesn't have to be one of the 13 disabilities recognized for IDEA. It could be something within a disability, like dyscalculia, dysgraphia, something else like a sub-disability, if you will. So any of those is absolutely fine. And you're going to create a resource, and this is going to be some sort of, again, online web hosting location where you are going to create all the information that anyone would ever need to know if they needed to know about this disability. I will have examples of those for you on Canvas so that you can see what other people have done before you. You'll put that on the discussion board for everyone else to see, and then everyone else will also have a chance to review it and then comment. So we're going to kind of engage in that process. Again, a lot of the details on these will also be on Canvas. The rubrics will be on Canvas. I'm going to try as much as I can to give you exemplars if I have them, or to give you resources for what other people have done before you so that you're not kind of going at it blindly. So you'll see these things also laid out on Canvas. I will also be reminding you week by week of what's coming. The next thing you're going to do is a case law presentation, so a lot of interactive kind of things that we're going to be doing throughout the semester. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick a court case. I'll give you a link, actually it's already on Canvas, of where you can find these court cases, and then you're going to create a brief. I'll give you an exemplar of one of those, where you're going to write the name of the case, the facts, disposition, the issue, etc. And then you're going to do a short presentation which is going to kind of describe that case, and you're going to have that case brief as kind of an accompaniment to your presentation. So you'll have that as well that you'll need to sign up for in a couple of weeks. So if you want to go ahead and start looking at some of the cases throughout history and through some of the websites, go ahead and do that. Choose your top 3, because again, only one person can sign up for each case. There isn't going to be any overlap. The last two things you're going to do are differentiated lesson plans. One's going to focus on UDL and one's going to focus on collaboration. I will give you a very specific format to follow and ask you to embed very specific components within that lesson plan. It doesn't have to be something you make up. It can be something you find, but you do need to use the format, and you do need to add the necessary components to demonstrate your knowledge of UDL and the collaboration components that we'll be learning about. So I know I'm kind of going over these pretty quickly and kind of skimming over them. At the same time, if I go into all of them right this second into detail, a lot of it isn't going to make sense until we start going through the semester, and I will be talking more about them as we move through the semester as well, so that it'll be more meaningful because we'll be tying it to what we're learning week by week. So you'll have a better foundation for how to understand the execution of the assignments. Hopefully that's making sense. The last thing I want to point out to you in terms of the assignments is that there's going to be something called bingo in this course. It's an online bingo. The bingo sheet is already on Canvas. It's in additional information you need to know. And you can earn extra credit through bingo in one of two ways. You can just do strictly a bingo, which is, 3 in a row. You do have to have that middle square, and you'll notice that middle square means coming to see me. So you do have to have a middle square, and if you get 3 in a row, you get an extra credit point. If you fill up the whole board, you get 2.5. So you'll notice that they're pretty straightforward, pretty easy, but it's just a way for all of us to get to know each other a little bit better and to hopefully create a little bit more of a sense of community. So you'll see on the discussion board on Canvas that I've already started some of those bingo topics for you to engage in. The grades for this course are pretty standard. You'll take the final number, obviously, and divide the total points by the total points earned by the total points possible, and that will give you your percentage letter grade. So that's the overview of our assignments for the course. Again, as we go through week by week, I'll give you more information, I'll give you more guidance, and hopefully there's no huge questions going on right now. Just the biggest things are to get started with thinking about a partner for your disability project. Start thinking about what disability you might want to do, and start reviewing those cases, the case law, so that you can have some options in terms of which cases you think you might be interested in. All right, on to the next.